Hey, it's Holly and welcome to Living It Country. In today's video, we have a cozy Christmas home tour to share. We have Lizzie back from Cozy Inn, Georgia, sharing her 2024 Christmas home tour. She was here back last Christmas, and I will link that down below for you guys to watch. It's so fun watching how some of these Christmas home tours change throughout the years. So without further ado, let's welcome her here today, tour her beautiful home, and I'm so excited for you guys to watch her tour today.
Hi, my name is Lizzie from Cozy Inn, Georgia. I want to start off by thanking Holly for having me back for a second Christmas tour. We're going to go through 4 rooms of my home, and along the way, if there's anything substantially different from last year, we'll talk about it. We've had several renovations, and I'll go over those too. We're going to tour my country style kitchen first, and then we'll go through the breakfast room that's right behind you. Several things in there I'm excited to share. Then my living room, and we'll finish up with our attic bedroom. That's probably my favorite room at Christmas to decorate, and I'm really eager to share it with you. Anyway, I'd like to get started, so let's go. Welcome to my cottage style home. I wanted to start my tour with the kitchen. I have the overhead light on. I wanted to make sure you could see all the details. Have loved this noodle board. My grandmother had one, and she used to make pasta on it outside her home on her picnic table. For me, it works as an extra work surface and a great crumb catcher. I have chickens now. Their names are Laverne and Shirley. Laverne was dropped on a back road near our house. I found her while walking, so she's actually a little rescue girl. And Shirley is a friend that we adopted for her. This little candle warmer is from Kirkland's home. I have some vintage Santa mugs here with bottle brush trees tucked in. Some more vintage Santas inside this cabinet. There's my yellow sink, if you'll remember about this house, this 1978 Cape Cod. I used napkins for tiers in the kitchen at the window. And I love this book stand. And this so sweet little tree. It's a vintage feather tree with some vintage Santa ornaments, but they're not very old. They're about 25 years old. So one new addition to this room is this hutch. The built-in back here had a matching built-in here that was taken out in a previous kitchen remodel, and we spent 3 years looking for one as it was gone when we bought the house. And I picked this up at an estate sale. I paused for a moment and switched on the small light over the hutch because I wanted you to be able to get really good close-up views. So I have styled the shelves of the hutch. This has been my most favorite part of this hutch, is Christmas with vintage and newer reproduction style Santas. I think you can probably spot which ones really are vintage and antique. There are so many Santas. This one was my grandmother's, and this one was mine, this little bank. If you can hear the tippy tats behind me, those are our little dogs. They are ready for dinner. And then I have this vintage, but newer vintage. This was Martha Stewart about 20 years ago, 25. And the little mugs are from Mr. Christmas at Walmart, and I just love them. The base is from, I think I got that mug at Home Goods. More vintage Santas. This guy also came from Home Goods. And this is my oldest Santa in my collection. The top shelves, I have to go up on my tippy toes for you. I have some vintage ornament boxes and thermoses. The thermoses were from the same estate sale. And then bottle brush trees and some vintage canisters. I'll back up again so you can see the entire cabinet. Finishing off the kitchen with my breakfast room. That chandelier is probably my favorite Facebook Marketplace find. I wanted something Italian to match the rustic hardware on that built-in cabinet. And the other addition to this room since last Christmas are those wonderful bay window curtains. I created this tablescape to share with you. It's fairly simple. All of the gingerbread things here are from Hobby Lobby this Christmas season. More of the brass candlesticks that I collect from thrifting. And I have styled the table with Norfolk pine garland, more homemade cinnamon salt dough ornaments, and dried orange slices. So this tree is the most ratty-tatty tree ever, and it will never leave. This was the first tree that my husband and I purchased together as newlyweds, and it made me so very happy at the time to be decorating a tree with my new husband, and I love it so much. And it worked perfectly in this room. All the ornaments are things I already had. Some of them are vintage, newer vintage, not antiques. The glass Santas. Very traditional colors. And this wonderful eyelet lace tablecloth lends itself so well to the kind of the French country vibe that this room has going on for it. I've mentioned before that I'm on Instagram. This is my most complimented room, is my breakfast room. And it's mainly that lovely built-in cabinet. I'm going to back up and give you another view so you can see how this comes together from the kitchen. And I'll just pull back. My living room has had a bunch of updates since the last time you toured it with me. And we will start with the fact that I found this wonderful antique secretary cabinet. This was a Facebook Marketplace find and wound up being the theme for the colorscape I used in this room, as it looked so wonderful with blue and white. And this was a vintage coffee pot that I found at Goodwill, and I converted into a lamp. And the little sugar and creamers I made into tiny tabletop treescapes. So my theme for my tree wound up being Blue Danube teacups and saucers, and I used vintage satin bulbs and some vintage acrylic balls and crystals from an old chandelier, and then lots of ribbon. The wreaths match, and the fireplace mantle's very different from last year. It was red and gold. I had the white still, but this year I went with the blue. And over here on my antique buffet, I have above it the Blue Danube plates to tie in. And then this small antique casserole dish with a new tinsel tree from Target, but has shiny brights and some different little ornaments from Poland. And then if we turn back, this is my favorite time of day in this room, golden hour. Took a hot minute to find when it was after the time change. And in keeping with the blue and white in the antique secretary cabinet, I decided to go with a little more minimalistic here. Last year, very colorful, very traditional. This year, I have a Rococo candlestick that's gonna stay here all year. I love it. And a vintage brass rocking horse, and a vintage compote dish with real evergreens from my yard, but then faux flowers. And I just love this at this time of day. It's my very favorite. And then again, I did not change out the art. A lot of things in this room I kept, just like the antique secretary styling. I kept what I had and instead added in thoughtful accessories that to me spoke of Christmas. And then my favorite little thing I added to this room this year was finding the chimes like my grandmother had on Amazon. Angel chimes. Welcome to my Christmas bedroom. Our room is in the attic of our house, and it has these sweet sloped ceilings that I just love. I always loved Anne of Green Gables, and the ceilings make me think of Green Gables. We added this antique fireplace last year. It was a Facebook Marketplace find. This year I decided to flank it with very simple Christmas trees, just lit. The bedding I purchased last season from HomeGoods, and I believe they're offering something similar this year. I love the toile. And then the pillow, also last season from Target. I have one in green as well. It's in my living room. And that plaid throw was also a Target purchase. I love how this room came together. This is a Goodwill find, this little cedar chest. I keep my crochet in it, but in full transparency, although I'm enjoying it decorated for Christmas, usually it has a patio cushion on it, and it is how our dogs traverse the bed to the floor safely. We have two little small dogs that like to cuddle up on cold nights. Other thrifted finds in this room, I love to purchase these silver casseroles, and you can usually find them very inexpensively. That one was from Goodwill. They're missing the glass inserts. Those are easy enough to find if you want to use them on your buffets for serving dishes on holidays, but I actually like to put books inside of them, or even small bottle brush trees. That picture I've had since the late 1990s. It was one of the first things that I came into when I had my own place. And I love the rich tones of this bed. I was never somebody who went in for the neutrals, and especially not at Christmas. I love the traditional coloring of this room. And a simple way to just style these lamps, I tied a plaid ribbon around those.
I hope you guys enjoyed Lizzie's tour today. I know I loved all of her sentimental pieces, her vintage pieces, her hutch is stunning, and her dining space I just adore. So I hope you guys will join us for our next day of Christmas home tours, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Bye, friends.